Hello, it is Sunday and I am already a disaster. So it is Sunday, August 29th, and we are starting a weekly reading vlog. I am anxious about it being the 29th because my semester starts on the 30th, which is tomorrow. But let's not get into that at this second. Let's talk about books. So this week, my primary reading goal is to finish Malice. So I started Malice last week and got through this kind of slowly. I think I started it on Wednesday and I'm still only 260 pages in and it is now Sunday. So I have not read that much of Malice per day as I have been for the rest of August basically. But it's not because I'm not enjoying it, it's just this has a very slow start and I knew that going in, but I've had just enough going on that because this isn't gripping me as much as I would hope, I am not picking it up and I am not making as much progress as I would want. But I am enjoying it so far and I think we are about to start picking up the pace because I'm almost halfway through. And I've heard that people really love the ending of this, like the last half. So I am looking forward to this and I really want to make some progress on it today, but I haven't and I don't know if I'm going to. So I want to finish this by the end of August, so by Tuesday night. And this will probably be the last book I read in August. And then we're gonna get started on my September TBR. So my September TBR has a lot of books on it that I'm so hyped to get to. I don't know which one I'm gonna start with yet. I'm gonna wait and see how I'm feeling. So like I said, today is Sunday, and this morning I had to meet up with some people in my program and had to be social and get to know them, which was fun. And in about, 20 minutes, there is a student organization fair that I am going to go to make an appearance and be seen by fellow students and faculty members and things, just to be present. So my goal was to already be on page 300 or 400 of this by today, so that I had 100 to 150 pages to read Monday and Tuesday, which hasn't happened. I could still get there tonight, but I know I have to prep my class and I'm getting anxious just sitting here saying it. So I'm teaching for the first time tomorrow morning at 9:30. So even though I'm probably ready for it, I am neurotically just checking and practicing and checking all the things over and over again. So I don't know if I'm going to be in the headspace to make good progress on this book tonight. And that's okay. I am allowing myself that. If I don't finish this in August, it's literally not a big deal. It wasn't on my TBR, and even if it were, it's not a big deal. I really would like to, because I would like to talk about this in my wrap up. But we are just going to breathe and see what happens and see what I am capable of doing. Because starting a brand new semester at a brand new school in a brand new state in a brand new program is already a lot, not to mention teaching a class for the very first time. So we are allowing myself the space to not get the reading done. So now that I've had a freak out and talked myself down from the freak out on camera, I think we are ready to start this vlog. Let's hope the rest of the week isn't like this. I did it! I taught a class! So it is currently Monday night. Today was a long day, so it was my first day back for the semester. I taught my first class first thing this morning. I think it went well. I had a lot of fun, so hopefully this goes well this semester. I'm very excited. And then in the middle of the day, I spent a lot of time editing my vlog since I didn't get that done yesterday. And then I spent a while editing a paper. And then after all of the editing I did this afternoon, I had a class in the evening and then I came home and ate dinner. Very busy day, but I'm very excited. I am happy to be back in classes and back in the semester. The waiting is not my friend. I don't like the time right before a semester starts. It doesn't work out for me. But I'm going to give a very brief update on Malice. So I have read more of Malice this evening, but I still just don't have much to say about this book, and I hate that. I am on page 354 at this point, and this book so far to me is so aggressively fine. I have no major problems with this book, but there's also no major positives for me at this point. There is just, this book is fine. And that's it. I don't have enough to say about it yet. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers and hoping that this ending gives me something to feel about this, but right now I feel nothing. But I am about to go to bed, and I wanted to go ahead and update you guys because I do intend to read some more in bed. I really, really, really want to finish this before August is over, and that would be tomorrow. Ideally, I could get to like page 450, and then I'd still have a good chunk to go tomorrow, but that would mean I'd have to read like another 100 pages tonight. I'm just not sure. We'll see what happens. This reading is not moving quite as fast as I want it to, but that's okay. Things happen. So I'm going to go ahead and get in bed and try to read maybe 100 more pages before I pass out because I'm very tired and my voice is shot from speaking all day, and we're calling it. It's a wrap on Monday. Okay, it is Tuesday night. I have spent the entire day on campus, and this is just a very brief update to tell you that I will be finishing Malice tonight. You may say, Casey, you're only on page 450. And it is already 7 p.m. And to that I tell you, I don't care. I have finally just now finished all of the work that I need to do. You can see I was doing class prep stuff. See, look at this. It says instructor's copy, which makes me feel very cool. It is currently August 31st, and I am going to finish Malice before the end of the month. I am determined it's going to happen. I feel like this is gonna get really repetitive if every time I check in, I just tell you, hey, I read another 100 pages. I still feel nothing. We're just gonna leave this as a brief update, and I'll come back to you when I have finally finished this book. And maybe I'll actually remember to film some B-roll tomorrow. That would be nice. Hello friends, let's talk about Malice. So it is Wednesday evening. I have just gotten home from classes for the day because I have a class that goes until 6:15 on Wednesdays. But I'm home now and I wanted to go ahead and chat with you guys about Malice. So I finished it last night. I finished it before I went to bed last night, and I have been thinking about it all day. And I don't mean like in a the story hasn't left my brain, it was so amazing kind of way. I wish that I did. But instead, I just mean I've been thinking about what I'm going to rate this book and my thoughts on this book all day, because honestly, my thoughts haven't changed that much since when I was updating you guys earlier. I'm so neutral toward this book. There's just not that much in it that is interesting me at this point. The book, to me, in the amount of critical thinking I've been able to do about it in less than 24 hours, doesn't have any major flaws. Like, there's nothing about it that I can point to that says, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like that. Like, the writing is a little bit clunky, but it's not enough that it really took away from my enjoyment. I wasn't consistently noticing it. The story was a bit predictable and tropey, but like that didn't bother me that much. I don't have a huge problem with reading tropes like that, especially when they're done pretty well, and I think this was mostly done well. The characters were fine. There were not major flaws in characters, like people weren't doing things I didn't think made sense. The plot made sense. There also wasn't anything drawing me to it. The characters were there. They served their function in the story, and I enjoyed them more or less, but I didn't feel deeply connected to them. And I see the potential in this series. This book was very much a setup book. It was very much establishing us in this world and establishing the tropes so that we could kind of start to go against them, and establishing what the characters think we're doing and what we're actually doing, and getting all of that worked out. Can you tell I taught today because I'm extremely animated? But I've also seen setup books done better, or at least in a more satisfying way to me. So this just like was not anything special for me, and I really wanted it to be. I was technically supposed to film my wrap up today because it's supposed to go up tomorrow. We'll see. But I still don't have my rating for Malice under control yet, to be honest with you. I do think I will continue on with the series because people do say it gets better, and I do see the potential for it to improve. So I am interested in continuing on with the Faithful and the Fallen series, but I'm not like eager, which sucks. because I really wanted to like Malice, but nope, not happening. So I am going to be on reading sprints in 30 minutes, and I don't know what I'm reading yet. I should have filmed this by my stack. So let's go look at the stack. This is the stack. So here is my stack of books for September's TBR. House in the Cerulean Sea is not on my official TBR, but I'm reading it for a book club with my friends. It's a reread for me, so this one is confirmed not happening right now. The other one that is on my TBR is Winter by Marissa Meyer, which is not in the stack because I'm going to do the audiobook for it. So I'm not going to start that tonight because I want to physically be reading something for the sprints. I'm also probably not going to read Rat Queens because I will finish it in like a sprint and a half, and that seems not good. Red Rising I am buddy reading with Greg, and I think we're starting that towards the middle of the month. So actually, that really just leaves Fool's Fate, A Closed and Common Orbit, and Caliban's War. I would say of these books, Fool's Fate is the one I'm the most excited for, but I just read a 600-page fantasy series, and it felt vaguely slumpy. I don't want to say Malice put me in a slump, because I'm not in a slump, but I felt vaguely slumpy during it. So I think I'm going to take Fool's Fate out of consideration for now just because it's so similar to what I've already read. While I do think this book is going to be 5 stars, I want to give it its best chance, and I think that chance is not on the back of another huge fantasy book. So really we're looking at some sci-fi. We're looking at Closed and Common Orbit or Caliban's War. I don't know. Either way we're doing sci-fi. Are we doing the second book in a series where the first one is my favorite book of all time? And therefore I am scared to do this one for fear that it will never live up to the hype or that it will somehow ruin the first one in comparison. Or we do Caliban's War, which I only gave Leviathan Wakes 3 stars, 3.5 stars I think. I had problems with it. Everyone says this one gets better, but she thick, so I don't know. I might make them pick on sprints. I'm gonna make them pick on the sprints. So today is Friday morning. I was not able to do an update yesterday because I've been super busy. First week back's been going really well. I've got like 1 or 2 more meetings today, and then I will have officially finished my first week, which is really exciting. But things have been going pretty well. My reading's been obviously a little slower than it has been before because I went from having nothing to do all day but read or do what I want to having things to do all day and then having to fit in reading where I can. But that hasn't stopped me. So I think last time I talked to you guys was Wednesday, and I was trying to decide between reading A Closed and Common Orbit or Caliban's War. Went on and did some live sprints, and the consensus was to read A Closed and Common Orbit, more or less. So I'm finally doing it. I'm finally reading this book. I've been so intimidated to start this book because The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet is like my favorite book of all time. This got put on a weird pedestal and I never approached it. But we're doing it, and I've made really good progress. So I am on page 236 of this. I got to like 100, a little over 100 in the sprints, and then I read about 100 pages of it yesterday. So I will more than likely finish this today. We'll see. But I am enjoying this so much. I don't know why I was so scared. I've already like tabbed a couple things out. I didn't have the tabs with me when I did the first chunk of reading. But these 3 tabs are just places that I've cried. I think I teared up or have fully cried 4 times in 230 pages because I don't know why Becky Chambers' books are like my perfect books. I recognize that they are not for everyone, and there are definitely some super valid criticisms. I'm not saying they are perfect books, but like for me, they hit all of the notes. They hit all of the things that I love. And I'm so happy. This follows 2 of the more side characters sort of that we met in the first one, and I can't really tell you who because there are some pretty major spoilers for the end of The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet in talking about the plot setup for this one. But generally speaking, this one's told a little bit differently than The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. This one has 2 timelines, so it has the current day timeline, which is following those 2 people that I talked about trying to figure out how they want to act and how they want to live, and that's like as vague as I can be about it, but figure out the kind of people that they want to be. And one of them is like really helping the other one do that. And the second timeline that we follow is kind of like a flashback timeline for one of those 2 characters. It shows the really strange and kind of horrible conditions that she grew up in, and it kind of shows her journey of learning to be a person and the person that she wanted to be. And it's very interesting to see the parallels of her being taught how to act in society and act the way that she wants in those flashbacks as she's a child, and as she is now doing those same kinds of lessons and teaching this other character. And I'm really enjoying it. The juxtaposition of that is so good. I've cried 4 times. I love these books so much, and I'm so happy I finally am doing it. Also, these are the floppiest paperbacks in the world, and it's the greatest thing ever. I can't describe to you how much I love found family in space. Like, anything I say to explain that, I feel like is understating it. Found family, best trope. Put it in space, it's over for me. I love it. I don't have that much more to say about it. The characters are wonderful and I love them. The world building is wonderful and I love it. The plot is moving and beautiful, and I'm so happy to be reading this. This is gonna be 5 stars unless she somehow manages to ruin everything she's written in the next 100 pages. I don't know when I'm gonna get a chance to finish reading this tonight because I do have a lab meeting, kind of like a lunch situation that I'm about to go to. And then after that, I have a class lab meeting kind of a thing that goes from 3 until like 5. So after that, I'll probably just be eating dinner and hopefully getting some reading done. But then I have plans this evening to hang out with some of my new classmates. And I'm like trying to prioritize that because I know it's like really important to make those connections. But oh boy, I want to stay in and finish reading this book. Look at my alien shirt. This is me attempting to bring this energy into my everyday life. Hello, it's Saturday night. Was this week's vlog a mess? Only time will tell. I don't even remember when I updated you guys last. I'm not gonna lie, I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday morning? Maybe, I don't remember. Either way, I need the book. I filmed so many of these and I always forget to bring the stupid book. Okay, so it's Saturday night. I really wanted to update you guys earlier in the day and get a lot of reading done, but unfortunately my brain disagreed. I woke up with a headache this morning, so I slept in for multiple hours longer than I wanted to. I did not get very much work done this morning. I was supposed to film and edit and post my video. That was supposed to go up Thursday. I was supposed to get that done today. And I just did not have time because of the headache. But what I did do was I did get up and I did film, hence the makeup. And I've been editing for like the last hour, but I'm not done. So I think I'm gonna call it on the editing for tonight and just edit tomorrow morning, because as long as I don't wake up with a headache again, I should be able to get a good amount of work done tomorrow morning. But I did have to spend the entire afternoon studying with one of my classmates. I literally was working on that for 4 hours. So came home, ate dinner, been editing, and here we are at 9 p.m. So I want to talk about, I forgot a book. Okay, take 3. So before I wrap up this vlog, I do want to talk about the fact that I finished A Closed and Common Orbit last night. I did it. I am no longer living in shame. So I have pretty much the same thoughts on this as I did when I updated you guys on Friday, if I'm remembering what I said, right? Friday was 100 years ago. But this is a 5-star book for me. I don't know why I'm surprised at that. I was so scared that this was not going to be a full 5 stars just because of how much I loved the first one. I got scared. I scared myself. I played myself on this one. This book is great. This book is very different though, and I think I talked a little bit about like the narrative structure of it and why it's different. It's also focused on a much smaller group of people, but it's just as beautiful. We're still doing the found family in space thing, and the total amount of times that I teared up throughout the course of this 300-page book was 6 times. So actually about 1 cry per 50 pages. And I did tab it out the first time through. The first time I read A Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, I didn't, and I tabbed it up later. This one, I knew when the moments happened. Most of these are times that I cried, but not all of them. It's just so good, and I feel like I need to read maybe one more book before I say Becky Chambers is one of my favorite authors of all time, or maybe I should read her novella that isn't part of the Wayfarer series, because I did just get that, but I really love her writing. Something about the way she writes characters and the way she can write the found family dynamic is so good in space, which I love. Just, this book was amazing. I don't know why I didn't read it sooner. I really do think September has the opportunity to be one of my best quality reading months of the year, because this is 5 stars. I can tell you basically right now that Fool's Fate is going to be 5 stars. I'm rereading House in the Cerulean Sea, which is 5 stars. I think there's a decent chance Red Rising will be 5 stars, but that's the riskiest one. But those 3 for sure are going to be 5-star books. I feel good about September's TBR. September's TBR is like really, it's calling to me. So overall this week I read from page like 280 or something like that. I finished Malice and I read A Closed and Common Orbit. So a little bit of a mixed bag. Overall, this is like a 4-star rating because this was 5 stars and this was a flat 3. This, I filmed my wrap up earlier today, obviously, but I think I'm giving this 3 stars. I could argue for a 2.5, but I think the potential that I see in this book means I'm gonna give it a 3 star. Granted, you know, I'd already read this much of it, but this is still a really good page count for our first week back at school. So overall, I think this comes out to about, I don't remember where I started in Malice, but around 700 pages, maybe a little bit more, which is, again, really good. We're still on pace for 100 pages a day, which is always where I like to be. And it gets harder to do a little bit once the semester gets going, but I am very pleased with my reading progress this week. I haven't read anything today. I finished this last night, so I might read a little bit of something before bed, but we're gonna go ahead and roll that into next week's vlog. But just to give you guys a little bit of a preview of what's going to be going on, I will be reading one book that is not on my September TBR, but that I do have to read. I think in the TBR I mentioned it as, oh, a book for a video that I'm doing. The video is scrapped. It's just not going to happen. We're just not doing it. So next week will be reading Bunny by Mona Awad. So I'm scared. I'm afraid. Our book club discussion was actually supposed to be today, and I thought I wasn't gonna get a chance to read this, and I was not super heartbroken about it because I'm afraid. But because of scheduling stuff, we ended up moving it to next week anyway, and then the library contacted me and said my hold was finally up, so I got this today. I have a week to read it. So this will be happening next week. Fool's Fate, Red Rising, Rat Queens, Winter, Close and Common Orbit. What am I missing? Caliban's War. After that, I think I will probably read Caliban's Warp by James S.A. Corey. This is the second book in the Expanse series. I think this is what I'm gonna read next. For sure this, possibly both of these. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the vlog here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you wanna keep up with what I'm reading, I have a link to my Goodreads down in the description below. But other than that, I will see you guys next time.